everyone to this night review for Daniel. So here we see a blue eye, and it's probably a darker shade of blue, I would say. But again, lots of congestion, especially around the pupil, and it's hard to tell from the picture, but it looks kind of messy to me. So it's not just congestion, but it's also like pocketing. It also does seems to have almost like a radii solaris happening. So basically, you just beat up your GI tract quite a bit. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you start to clean it up. And that means all the foods that are processed. So, and I mean, when I say all the foods, I mean as much as you possibly can, all if you can. For my channel specifically this year, the goal will be to help myself as well as everybody else to clean up our diets where we are not eating these things with a lot of toxic ingredients. So even take a look at, for example, if you're eating things like bread. Well, how many ingredients does your bread have in it? The one that you like the most, for example, okay? Now, what else do you put in your sandwich? And start to go over all of the things that your body is consuming on everyday basis and see how you can cut it down to a more wholesome situation where you're not eating as many things that you can't even pronounce because they're just chemicals. They're not really even like food. They're chemicals meant to stabilize the food that you're eating to make the shelf life of the food longer, and trying to cut those down because those really have an effect on your GI. Because you know you have to understand when they're tested in labs to make sure that they're not like toxic to people, it doesn't mean that they're not toxic. It just means that they're not toxic in the small amounts that we are consuming them. But if you start to add this in small amount, that in small amount, another thing in small amount, we're starting to consume a lot of food. And if you're trying to go to this raw food lifestyle, chances are that you are already switched out of a lot of these products. But really take a look at what you are eating still that has a lot of ingredients, and especially if you're going towards being vegan, but not being vegan in like a raw vegan type of way, but more like veggie burgers and veggie you know like chicken replacements and this replacement and that replacement, you really start to accumulate a lot of toxins that are made. A lot of the times, they're not made in the countries that are that have a lot of in like a good inspection system. So they're made with very kind of in an uncontrolled environment, is what I want to say, and we don't know what's in it. To be honest, like let's be honest, like I don't know what most of these ingredients that are labeled are, and it's concerning. So this kind of stuff you want to cut out. On top of it, you want to make sure that you are eating a diet that's not acidic but alkaline in nature. Not entirely alkaline. You probably wouldn't be able to eat entirely alkaline anyway, but more on the alkaline side. So you can download a chart. There's so many charts available online of alkalinity versus acidity of foods, and see where you are on that chart and see what things you can cut out that are very heavily acidic. Meats, cheeses, coffees, teas, all of those are extremely acidic. Those are just common things that come to mind. Fruits, vegetables they are alkaline. Sometimes when you eat especially with fruits, when you eat it, the fruit is acidic, but it changes to alkaline in the body. So there's also those processes that take place. Lemons is an example of that. And just start to clean up your diet. And the one suggestion I can give to anybody who's starting like to change their diet is make sure you are eating enough, because when you're eating a regular diet of like meat and potatoes, just our standard diet, what most people have been grown up with, you're worried about eating too many calories. So you're always like, well, most people are, some people are. I was okay. But when you go to this raw food lifestyle, it's the opposite. You want to make sure you are eating enough calories, because if you're not eating enough and if you're hungry, you're going to go back to your regular diet, to what you're used to, because you're going to say, well, I'm hungry, this is not for me, all this blah blah blah, right? But it's not. It's just you're not used to these portions. You have to eat way, I would say you probably have to eat double of what you used to eat in terms of volume in order to get the same amount of calories. Because if you're not getting the same amount of calories, your body will know, and your body will say, I'm hungry, because it's just simply used to it. It's used to functioning that way. And it's, we use this term as a diet, but it's not really a diet in the fact that you're not trying to lose. If you're overweight, you'll, chances are you'll lose weight anyways, but you're not really trying to lose weight. You're trying to get healthy, and that will reflect in your eyes and in your body, and in just every, I mean, in everything, in everything. That's how it is, you know. And how you think, and how you view the world. Because if you're, you know, stressed and unhappy, then, you know, I mean, how are you gonna function, right? So all of it is interconnected. And I do see that the GI is the worst area that's been hit the hardest. And I can't see the top, but I do see that it's darker on top of the pupil, which is the brain area, which means that you might not be functioning to your fullest ability. So you may be getting tired, not trouble concentrating, headaches, allergies, anything to do with like abnormal brain and head function. It can happen because the mucus does seem to build up in the brain, in the head area a lot. Also, if you are exposed to like different temperatures, you can get more colds than most people, things like that. That happens a lot as well. Not to everybody, but some people react to it more in an allergy way, and some people react to it more in a cold way. But the same thing comes out in both ways. Whether you get a cold or you get an allergy, mucus comes out, you know. And people say that once they go to this lifestyle of, you know, not eating foods that your body doesn't know what to do with, they stop getting colds. Because yeah, because there's no mucus coming in, so it's not going to come out. So I hope this kind of helps. I'm sorry if it's a little bit long and kind of rambly, but I hope you can kind of take some knowledge out of it. I, like I said, I don't know everything. I'm learning as, you know, as I go along, and what I learn I share. So I encourage you to look further into it. And there's the diagrams and charts available online with a lot of information on the iridology. But basically, I can tell you that the eyes are blue, and the GI tract is the worst area that you have in your body that does need cleaning for sure. And again, switching to an alkaline based diet. So I hope this helps. If you have any questions that I didn't address, you can always email me. I'll link that below. If you guys would like me to review your eyes, I'll link that below as well. If you guys don't know, I do have a service now where I will do a paid review that will not be posted on YouTube, but will be emailed to you directly. And those are done first. And the reason why that is because honestly, guys, I am behind. So I'm I'm kind of picking which eyes I do first and which eyes I do second, just based on the clearest pictures. Because if the eyes are really blurry, I'm kind of keeping them to the end. But even then, like I have so many eyes to review. So, you know, if you guys would like me to do it earlier, I will do it earlier. If not, then wait until I do have the time. I'm trying to get to everybody, but I'm receiving more eyes that I'm able to review. So I hope you guys understand that. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.